Well, I want to thank you for purchasing your motorcycle paintless dent removal tools, and I'd like to show you what comes in the set of tools. You have 5 tools. The first one here is a 5/8 double bend, removable tip, removable handle. The next one that comes in the set is a tight double bend, great for vintage tanks. Next tool is a large J tool, removable tips, removable handles on all these. Next one is a tight J tool, 3/8. And last but not least is your slow curve or slow J tool, 3/8, removable tip, removable handle. And then you have a set of tips with a holding bar, which is nice and convenient, keeps your tips nice and organized, and you know where to find them. Also 2 extensions in the set, and a set of removable caps for the soft tip tool. Also in your set you have 2 fuel door opening protectors. This one here is a fuel injected one, and this little black guy here is for normal fuel door openings, the round fuel door openings. And that's what comes in your set of tools. Alright, here's our first look at the Daniel Grom Signature Series Mpdr tools. The first thing you'll notice is your tools comes with a set of removable tips, and you can choose any tip according to the dent with your experience, but in 90% of the cases I always start with a ball tip. I think this is the best tip to use to start off on a motorcycle tank. And these tips screw on very easily and screw off very easily. So here we have a practice tank. This is a Harley tank, lightly gauged metal, one of the easier tanks to work on. The first thing you want to do is, once you make your dent, is find your reference point. You have to know where the tip of the tool is. That's very important. It's very easy to lose your tip when you're first starting out on a motorcycle tank. So measure your tool when you stick it in the hole, and try to find that point and start there. The next thing is not to rush a paintless dent removal on a motorcycle tank. I'll show you a little bit later what happens when you do rush it, but taking your time is very, very important. You want to raise that metal very, very slowly, so it's much easier to leave push marks when you're doing a thicker metal tank like this. So you want to be very, very careful when starting out. So get yourself a practice tank and give it a shot. Here we're going to demonstrate what happens when we rush the dent. I'm purposely going to rush the repair, do it as fast as possible, and you'll notice what happens when you do that. With the first push here, we're already starting to see the tip of the tool, and the effects of the push are dramatically enhanced with thicker metal. So it's very, very important to take your time, move the dent very slowly, raise it up a little at a time. Don't try to rush it. As soon as you do, you can damage it. And there's a good example of that happening right there. Now, the good thing about a Harley tank is you have a lot of clear to sand, and you can't get away with wet sanding and polishing out some of those marks, depending on the color of the tank. This is also important. So sit back and watch what happens when we Just take this a little bit too fast. All right, here we have a great example of a Harley-Davidson tank. This is your typical tank, newer tank, fuel-injected system. You can see when you take the fuel-injected system out, you have a large opening. You have great access to this tank. This is one of the easiest tanks to do. I love this tank. One of the things I learned early on, I used to use a rag in here, try to protect it, but you can bend this edge depending on the severity of the dent. So I came up with this. This is a protector cradle. This is designed to fit inside here. It fits the majority of most fuel-injected systems on Harley-Davidsons. There are a couple different size openings, but this is universal. It fits everything. And it's designed to cradle the tool. So when you put your tool inside, you find a notch, and it kind of gives you some stability so you can work on the dent and protect the edge. Really important to protect this edge. You don't want it to bend up because there is a gasket. If you bend this edge, it can leak. So it's really important to keep this safe. The nice thing about these tanks is they have a lot of clear on them. So some severe dents you might have to wet sand, but on Harley-Davidsons they put a lot of clear on there. You have a lot of material to work with. Makes it very forgiving. If you're starting out and practicing, this is the tank you want to practice on. Go to a cycle salvage or something like that and find a practice one to work on. All right, up next here we have our fuel door protector. This little weird guy came up with to protect the edge of the fuel door opening. And it has a very specific shape. This will meet all the different shapes or different hole sizes. It should fit every tank that you come across. Here we have a great example of that with this tank here. Your typical fuel opening. This has a beauty ring that goes around it. And when you insert this piece in here, it's designed not to only to protect the edge of the opening, but the edge of the paint around here. That's why you have this collar here. And it cradles the tool very nicely so you get good leverage without damaging any part of the tank. All right, here I've got a late 70s motocross tank. It's a Mako all aluminum tank. This tank was pretty rough when it came in, but it was a fun project to start. Here I'm going to speed up the video, do a little time lapse, and you notice that I'm not worried about making Audi marks on this, and you'll see why in a minute. And here I am, I'm actually sanding down all the bumps and rubbing out the finish. And the nice thing about that is it helps you find your lows. Since you're not working with paint and be able to see everything like you normally would, a little bit more difficult to see, the sanding helped with that. Here's a couple little pinger dents that I'm working out on the other side of the tank. And you can see the rough finish. There's pitting and scratches all over this tank. But after sanding, you can see it makes a big difference in the finish. There's one more little pinger on the side. Aluminum's pretty easy to work with, at least it wasn't with this. And you can see the end results after sanding out the whole tank. The customer wanted to leave the original stickers on. Unfortunately, had to work around that. But after I was done, it looked amazing. It looked like a brand new tank. And it was quite a fun project to do, something different. I haven't done a completely aluminum tank without, paint on it.
Tim, I'm here to pick up my tank, and basically it had a big dent in it, and see what you can do. Anyway.
What year was
Ready?
it?
It's a 78 Mako. Wow. Unbelievable. It's too dark in here. Nice job. That is awesome. Yeah. Sweet. Yeah, it looks so bad I didn't even think I could even possibly restore it. I was thinking to myself, there's no way I could get the dent out, and it looks new. Oh, this is going to be fun to restore. Now.
Now you see the possibilities?
Yeah, no, I didn't think you could do it. I didn't think a dent could come out, and I thought, you know, there's no way. But it's excellent. It came out really good. You guys did a great job. Thank you very much. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Good job, yeah. That's awesome. Yeah.